Right lads, I'm your host, Kebab, out of the closet and back in the chair. Wait, yeah, that was pretty confusing out of the context of last week's video. But anyway guys, it's a new week, and I think you guys know what that means. I was expecting a welfare check. So, 3D All-Stars. This has been a divisive one since its launch, and although yes, it's been discussed thousands of times, with its pulling from shelves mere days away, I think now is the prime time to discuss what made this such a hot topic of discussion amongst Nintendo fans. And while we're here, we might as well compare it to other collections. Now I got 3D All-Stars a week after launch. I popped it in, played 2 hours of it, and didn't touch it again for a month. It's not that I didn't like this collection, I was just busy with other games, but recently after using it to record footage for the 64 vs Odyssey video, I have started to get my thoughts on it fired up. Opinions on this game are incredibly split. People either thought it was a bargain to get 3 classic games on a cartridge the size of a Tic Tac box, others saw it as a complete rip-off for a collection of what was essentially ports, with little changes and extra features to go along with them. My opinion lies somewhere in the middle. As someone who only played Galaxy and 64 DS as a kid, I enjoyed playing through Sunshine and 64, but that doesn't mean I was oblivious to the faults. To start off, the box. I don't like it. I mean, it's okay, but it's so bland and boring. Mainly the logo, it just looks like it was thrown together in 10 minutes on Photoshop. It's not a deal breaker, but it's one of the very few game boxes I just don't like to look at. Diving into the menus, well, there's games, and music. I feel as if this was a huge opportunity missed to add trailers, talks with developers, early concept art. All this stuff may be simple, but it's easy to add, and it's just something that makes a collection a collection. Just a few digital knickknacks to flick through for an hour. Sure, not everyone will make use of it, but it would add so much more value to this collection and wouldn't take too much time for developers to add. Of course, the most notable thing missing here is the omission of Galaxy 2. Why Nintendo left this out of the collection still confuses me. But that's a point that's been brought up way too many times, and I've nothing to add beyond that, so I'll leave it there. Games wise, they're games. These games weren't really changed all too much. Sure, character models are less jaggedy, colours pop more, and the games are shifted into HD. However, I feel as if everyone was expecting a little more. I understand why they didn't change them too much. The idea was more to preserve the classic look of these games. Either that or they were too lazy. The last part may be true when you realise, gameplay wise, these games haven't changed, which is kind of a bad thing. See, the thing is, Mario 64 nowadays is very clunky and doesn't control very well. And Sunshine, well, that game is full of bullshit mechanics and also doesn't control very well. I think fans expected Nintendo to address a lot of these issues, plus give these games a makeover. Instead, we got none of that. Nintendo simply ported these games to Switch and sharpened them up a little. So we've seen this collection doesn't have much to it, and the games are basically the originals, with the exception of maybe Galaxy. But how does it stack up against other collections? Well, to do this, I took a few of the collections I owned and compared them to 3D All-Stars. The orange box is probably the most similar to 3D All-Stars, a collection of Valve games, Team Fortress 2, Portal, and Half-Life 2, alongside its 2 episodes. This collection is pretty solid, however it is just the same games as before. It's just these games all in one place. The LEGO Harry Potter collection. Now these games are great. Again, no extra features, but the games are noticeably better than the original versions. Not by much, but enough to know. Overall solid, but again, maybe pushing the definition of a collection, as it is only 2 games. Rockstar Games Double Pack on the OG Xbox. Pretty simple here. We've only got the 2 games here, GTA 3 and Vice City, and both are strangely on separate discs. The games are the exact same as before, but the highlight of this collection is definitely its packaging, alongside the inclusion of 2 posters. This is definitely more in line with a DVD box set rather than a video game collection, but at least it's pretty unique. The Ezio Collection. Now this is what I call a collection. The 3 Ezio Assassin's Creed games all in one disc and remastered. The games aren't changed massively, but still look true to the originals and look better in the process. This collection also includes 2 movies in the form of Embers and Lineage. Now these can both be watched on YouTube too, but I mean it's something. However, all of these pale in comparison to Rare Replay. This is possibly the best collection ever made. Over 30 games, both big and small, tons of extra features like featurettes and the making ofs documentaries, alongside an incredible presentation. This is a collection at its best. So, as you can see, in comparison to other collections, 3D All-Stars ain't bad. But what would I have liked to see in this collection? Well, first off, a box like Mario's 25th anniversary would have been cool. I understand these cardboard boxes do annoy some people, but they add a more premium feel in my opinion. A small booklet, poster, or other knick-knack would have been cool. Sure, they wouldn't mean an awful lot, but they wouldn't cost too much to add and would just add a bit of depth to the collection. On the cart itself, of course a few digital time wasters alongside Galaxy 2. Yes, its inclusion would have probably drawn the price up slightly, but I don't think it would have hurt the game's sales all too much. In fact, it would probably have the opposite effect. And finally, fix the problems in 64 and Sunshine. I don't think a graphics overhaul was necessary, but the fact that the gameplay problems were left in the games is pretty shit. So that was 3D All-Stars. Was it bad? God no. It includes two of the best games of all time, plus probably the most unique Mario game of all time. However, if I had to pick one word to describe it, it would probably be disappointing. Anyway, with this game's store life over in tomorrow, I think it's finally time to lay this game to rest and stop complaining about it. Until it skyrockets in price on eBay.